The story opens with Lavone Cade, a former Royal Marine commando who has swapped the battlefield to the quiet monotony of a construction site, where he now works as foreman. His discipline and dependability have earned him the respect of his entire crew. The company is owned by the Garcia family, with whom Lavone shares a close bond. Their daughter, Jenny, wishes to celebrate the end of her semester with friends and persuades her cautious father to fund a night out. At the site, Lavone notices a group of gang members harassing one of the workers. Relying on his training, he intervenes and diffuses the situation before it escalates. Later that day, he visits his daughter, Mary, who lives with her grandfather, Roth. Since her mother's death, Roth, resentful and manipulative, has used family gatherings to undermine Lavone's presence, even attempting to lay blame for the past on him. Lavone remains calm. During lunch, he gifts Mary a framed photo of her late mother, which stirs grief and frustration as Mary admits she barely remembers her and resents the loss. Soon after, Lavone meets with his lawyers, who explain that Roth is attempting to have him declared unfit as a parent, using Lavone's military background and unstable housing against him. Determined not to lose time with his daughter, Lavone hands over $10,000 he has saved by sleeping in his truck. Still, the lawyers warn that Roth's wealth gives him the upper hand. To strengthen his position, Lavone rents a cheap room, filthy and unsettling, but endures it. Meanwhile, Jenny enjoys her night out with friends, unaware that a group of criminals have been tracking her. At the bar, the bartender Johnny casually asks her name, then secretly passes the information to a human trafficking network waiting for her. One of their clients has specifically requested a girl matching her description. As the night spirals, one of Jenny's friends becomes ill, forcing the group to escort her to the restroom. Left alone briefly, Jenny is abducted. 3 days pass with no trace of her. Desperate and terrified, Jenny's parents turn to Lavone for help, knowing his military background. They plead with him to intervene and offer him a large sum in return. Still haunted by his past, Lavone seeks advice from his old comrade, Gunny, a half-blind veteran who owes him his life. Gunny urges him to trust his instincts. Do what's right. Save the girl. Encouraged, Lavone revisits Jenny's parents. Her father, Joe, sits grief-stricken watching an old video of Jenny playing the piano. Once passionate about music, she abandoned it to study business, hoping to follow her father's path. Lavone comforts him and vows to bring her home safely. "Look at me, brother. I'll bring her home. I promise." Determined, Lavone returns to the bar where Jenny was last seen. He spots Johnny acting suspiciously, notices that the security cameras have been disabled, and finds a bead from Jenny's dress. Following Johnny home, Lavone confronts him and uncovers evidence linking the men to the Russian mafia. A tattoo confirms their allegiance. Realizing the scale of the threat, Lavone seizes their cash and escapes. Overnight, he surveils their movements. By morning, a higher-ranking mafia leader, Wolo Kolisnik, arrives and quickly deduces that the deaths of his men were caused not by infighting, but by an outsider. Lavone tails Wolo back home, studying his every move. Later, he learns through a translation that another figure, Day, may be connected to Jenny's disappearance. Meanwhile, another mafia leader, Seaman, pays respects to Wolo's family, warning that while Wolo was disciplined, his son Day is reckless and dangerous. After reviewing CCTV footage showing Lavone, Seaman orders his men to hunt him down, referring to him as a fearless menace tearing through our ranks. Seeking leads, Lavone contacts a trusted police insider. He's warned that Day is deeply embedded in the mafia and that his base of operations is disguised as a local bar that doubles as a meth front. That night, Lavone returns to the bar armed. The guards take notice. Playing the part of a drug dealer, Lavone negotiates a deal with Dutch, Day's associate, to purchase 4 pounds of meth monthly. Dutch arranges a follow-up meeting at a pancake cafe the next day, where Lavone will hand over cash and receive a burner phone for future communication. After leaving, Lavone finds a hidden package under his seat, drugs, which he promptly disposes of in a river. Elsewhere, Jenny's captors, Viper and Artemis, deliver her to a client who pays for her as if she were art, remarking that she resembles a figure from his favorite painting. When she resists, he angrily orders them to remove her. Dutch later introduces Lavone to Day at a hotel. Though suspicious, Lavone provides his real driver's license for verification. Day approves the transaction and tells him that to order more, he only needs to send an aubergine emoji via the burner phone. Back at his room, Lavone destroys the drugs and checks Johnny's phone, discovering messages between Johnny and Viper about Jenny's abduction. Using the details, he tracks Viper back to Dutch's bar. The bar's security notices him. Men are sent to intercept, but Lavone escapes after a brutal skirmish. The next day, Seaman discovers the corpses of his sons and calls a mafia war council. At the same time, Day lashes out at Viper and Artemis for losing a $200,000 client, ordering them to kill Jenny. Seaman later finds Day and informs him that a lone man has been slaughtering their men, including Day's father. Reviewing CCTV footage, Day recognizes Lavone and connects his real identity through the ID he provided earlier. Soon after, Lavone receives a call from Mary's school. Her grandfather hasn't collected her. When Lavone arrives, he discovers that Roth's home has been attacked and set ablaze by Russian gangsters. Charging into the flames, he rescues Roth, though he still blames him. Mary defends her father fiercely, forcing Roth to acknowledge his heroism. To protect his daughter, Lavone takes Mary to Gunny's secluded country house. Gunny warns him, "If you plan to fight your way in, be ready to fight your way out." He leads Lavone to a hidden armory and lets him choose. Lavone picks an M14 rifle, the same model he used during his service. Before leaving, Mary pleads, "Please come back. I can't lose you too." Meanwhile, Jenny's captors attempt to kill her, but during the struggle, their car crashes, allowing her to escape. She flees into the woods but is later tricked by a corrupt police officer who returns her to her kidnappers. Just as Viper and Artemis prepare to kill her, they receive a call. Their client now offers $1 million for Jenny alive and conscious. At the same time, Lavone infiltrates Day's compound. He captures Day and forces him to lead him to Jenny's location. When Day admits that the abduction was simply about money, Lavone shoots him. At the trap house, Lavone eliminates the guards silently and storms in, unleashing chaos. From afar, Seaman witnesses the carnage. His superior advises him to let it go. The devil has already taken what he wants. But Seaman refuses, swearing vengeance, even if it costs him his life. In the aftermath, Jenny is rescued and reunited with her family. Overcome with relief, they embrace Lavone, thanking him for returning her safely. Finally, he reunites with his daughter, Mary. Together, they sit at Gunny's home, sharing lunch, peaceful, content, and free at last. And that's where the film ends.